Today we're going to talk about colonial Stockholm syndrome. And I'm going to go over the definition. What is colonial Stockholm syndrome? It is a socio-political and psychological concept used to describe a phenomenon where colonized or oppressed peoples begin to identify with, admire, or defend their colonizer or oppressors, even when those colonizers have historically inflicted harm on their identities, cultures, and sovereignty. So, as we go through this transition that we see in the world, during the last 300 years, we see the emergence of Western European countries, and there came about colonized most of the world and created many colonies around the world. Some of those colonies became independent and created their own systems, but some colonies became independent and became very similar to the colonized country. For example, in case of the US, Canada, and Australia, New Zealand, they became very similar to UK, to the system, to the British Empire, to the system that British Empire established. But we wanted to talk about those countries that were colonized once and they gained their independence, why they created certain mindset that it could be named as colonial Stockholm syndrome. These names come from the Stockholm syndrome, that is a psychological phenomenon, but colonial Stockholm syndrome is more a cultural, socio-economic definition of how people act in a society once they went through decades and centuries of colonization. So, as we go through the time that the country that became independent in 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they were not colonized anymore under the hard definition of colonization, but they were maybe financially colonized, or maybe they were still under control of those countries that are colonizers. But slowly, this country started to create their independency in different arena, and to some degree could achieve the self-respect once they lost to the colonizers, and they could build up their technology. They could find their own way of development. But there is one area that people maybe there's a blockage in their path to improvement, and that is when their mind still appreciate or still glorify those colonizers, and they're just waiting for the colonizer to make decisions for them, or waiting to colonizer help them to improve, or glorifying whatever comes out of those colonizers' value system. Whatever comes out of the university of those countries that once colonized their country, whatever product that comes out of those colonizers' countries. As we see right now, many countries that were once already colonized, they could produce very high quality products that are matching those countries that once colonized them. When it comes to car industry, when it comes to renewable industry, when it comes to many areas of software, we see their software coming from India. We see that manufacturing with high quality coming from China. We see many advanced manufacturing come from Vietnam and other countries that once were fully or partially colonized, that matching the quality of product in the countries that once colonized them. But still the people that living in those countries prefer to have those products that coming from those colonizer countries, because they have this phenomenal colonial syndrome, colonial Stockholm syndrome, that they feel a sense of inferiority, and this sense of inferiority would not give them confidence to have trust in their own domestic product, to have trust in their own domestic universities. So this is why people slowly create this sense of belonging to the culture that once colonized them. And this cycle of lack of development continue, because once you trust the product, once you trust the system, the local system you build, and try to improve it, and you believe in yourself that you could create systems that work very good, even better than the colonizers' countries, your local brand, your local product cannot compete, and again you stay in the cycle of underdevelopment, and is going to continue the same way until and unless that you believe in your own local product, you believe in your own local ideas and values, you start to reconstruct the tradition that you think is beneficial for 21st century, and slowly make it more excellence, make it more higher quality, make it better. And in that way you could have this self-confidence and self-esteem that you are not inferior from a human perspective, or from perspective of creating a product or creating a value system that could go hand in hand with the countries that once were colonizers. I really would like to know your idea about this subject. Thank you for watching.